over how to conduct a paired t-test or two-sample dependent t-test. So what we're going to do is, our example tells us that suppose you're interested in investigating whether a new medication reduces blood pressure in patients. You recruit 20 patients who have high blood pressure and measure their blood pressure both before and after they receive the medication. The data set consists of two columns. We can see this before column. This is the measurement before receiving the medication. And the after column, that is blood pressure after they received the medication. So when we are doing our dependent t-test, we need to click on the two dependent samples over in our app over here. So you want to go to the compare to population means, the same as the last one, but this time we're going to click on two dependent samples and make sure we are doing your own data, and we want to make sure we are doing significance test. So to put in our data, we're going to copy and paste again. So this first group is going to be the before. This group is going to be the after. So let's go ahead and put in that before data. We're going to put in that after data. Again, you're just going to click and drag all the way down until you get to the last one. And you should have sample size of 20 for each of these. All right, so we got our data in there. What we need to do is write our null and our alternative. And for our dependent t-test, our paired t-test, this is always going to be the same thing. It's going to be our mean difference equals 0, and it's going to be our mean difference does not equal 0. Because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for if there is a difference between the before and the after. All right. So for our conditions, these conditions are going to be the same ones as our one sample t-test. It's random. Yes, these are randomly selected. And approximately normal or sample size greater than 30. We have 20 in the sample size, but we're just going to assume these are from a normal distribution because blood pressure is usually normally distributed. So for our test statistic, we can see over here our test statistic is 21.794. So put that here. And our p-value is less than 0.0001. And if you look up here, this tells us the actual difference. So this is our average difference is 12.5. So we can see it decreased it by a good amount in the after. So since our p-value is less than, so 0.0001 is less than 0.05, we reject the null. And that tells us that we do have convincing evidence that there is an average difference of blood pressure after taking the medication. Or you can say there is evidence that the blood pressure, the average blood pressure was lower after the medication. And let me wrap this around so you can see it. All right, so we do have convincing evidence that there is an average difference of blood pressure after taking the medication compared to before. And again, you can see this here. You can see this in the box plots, and you can tell that there's a pretty good difference there. So that is how you do a paired t-test using the app.